Hey guys, it's me, obviously. Today I thought I'd do a gear tour. A lot of people have been commenting over the last couple of years wanting to know about stuff I use, details about guitars, and I thought what I'd do today is just do the guitars, mostly because a lot of my amps are not here most of the time. I usually, because of lack of space, will only have amps in this room when I'm recording. So I do have one right now. I think I have my Egnator sitting around, but right now most of the gear I have is a Fractal AX8 and I think a Friedman somewhere. But today I'm going to be doing guitars. I figured I'd just walk you through every guitar I have, tell you about it. And if you like short videos, probably is not for you, but if you really like guitars, you like, watching guitars, this might be your video. So what I eventually want to do with this is actually do like a full clip video where I just give sound clips of every guitar, maybe through the same amp, probably playing the same riffs. So the hope is that you can listen to that and kind of get an idea of how each guitar sounds. It might help some people out. But this video is just going to be talking about every guitar, telling you about specs. I know a lot of people ask, hey, what pickups do you use? Stuff like that. So I'm going to go in no particular order here. This is just as they come out of the cases and off the rack and stuff like that. So this first guitar is actually not made anymore. It's a Gibson Midtown Custom. I think they stopped making these 2 or 3 years ago. I expect they stopped making them because people figured out what a great deal they were. I feel like they were somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,500–1,600 new, which is really a steal for what you're getting. So I'll just tell you about, a lot of people think this is a 335 and it's not. It's really nothing like a 335. The body is actually smaller than a 335. I think it's at least a full inch smaller in width. And it's not even constructed like a 335. It does have hollow wings, so like a 335, it's got the solid mahogany core coming through here, but the wings are fully hollow. And it's like a 335 that way. However, a 335 has a laminate top. This is just a maple cap like you'd find on a Les Paul. And actually, if you ask me what it sounds like, I think it just sounds like a heavily chambered Les Paul, because that's kind of what it is. The neck is really thin. It's like a thin 60s neck. The fretboard is actually a synthetic material called Richlite. A lot of people were upset about that when it came out, but everybody I've talked to that actually played theirs said that they couldn't tell the difference between that and ebony. It looks like ebony, it feels like ebony. I actually like it better for whatever reason. It's stock except for the electronics. I kept the burst buckers, but when I first got the guitar, it's so muddy. And I looked up, it has 300K pots in it. I don't know why Gibson would do that. Probably because they know people are going to buy the more expensive guitars with the 500K pots and avoid this. But this has 500K in it now. I installed the Tone Man kit and it sounds so good now. It really opens up the tone, gives it more mid-range and treble. It just sounds so muddy without. But it's a super cool guitar. It definitely kind of looks like a smaller ES 335 Custom, or I guess that'd be a 355 actually. To me, it kind of does a Les Paul thing, but it sounds a little rounder, a little more resonant. Not as much bite, probably because of the hollow wings. But killer guitar, if you can find one on the used market, highly recommend it. And you may have to get a new nut though. The nuts on these are pretty questionable. Sometimes I had to do some minor filing. Alright, next guitar. This is kind of a Telecaster. It's I don't know what you'd really call this. It's like a Telecaster Deluxe, half Cabernita, whatever. So it is a deluxe. It's actually made by a company called Brown Bear Guitars in Canada. This guy named Jesse pretty much runs the whole company. I don't think it's really anybody other than him. He makes all the guitars by hand. He doesn't even use a CNC machine. Not that I have anything against CNC machines. Those are great. But it is kind of a cool thing because you feel this guitar and you hold it in your hand and you can tell that it was made by hand. It just has that element of kind of human interaction with it that you can tell a guy sat and carved this. It's not perfect. Like you can probably see there's like a weird towards the input jack on the bottom. It's almost curved weirdly. But very unique guitar. I actually bought this secondhand. I got a great deal on it. Oddly enough, another guy in Georgia had it made and I guess didn't like it for whatever reason. I don't know why he sold it. He's crazy for selling it, especially at the price he did. It's actually a relic style, which I don't know if I would have gone for. I'm not really a guy that would order a relic, but I think it's a really cool relic. It's not overdone. It's kind of lightly done. Jesse at Brown Bear seems to have a pretty good idea for that kind of thing. The knobs are amp style, which is really cool actually. I kind of prefer this. Bigsby, of course. Of course it's double bound. Alder body. The neck is actually roasted maple. You can see there, hopefully. Really, really cool roasted maple neck. Kind of a medium C shape. It's not too big, not too small, especially around here. It's really thick here and then it kind of tapers up towards the neck. Probably vintage medium frets. I think it's got a 10-inch radius. Goto tuners. And a lot of people think this guitar came with the TV Classic in the neck. It's not a TV Classic anymore. I thought the TV Classic was a little bit too bassy. I'm going to take a drink of water here. Too boomy, I thought the TV Classic was. So I switched it out for this TV Jones Magnetron, which I'd never used before, but supposedly it's like a Strat single coil meets a TV Classic. And that's pretty much what it is. It kind of has the bell sound that a Strat gets, but it's still kind of chimey, like a TV Classic or a Filtertron would be. So that fixed that a lot. And the bridge pickup is actually a Zex coil. I think it's a TV5. If you've never heard of Zex coil, it's really, really nice guy that makes silent single coil style pickups. You can see it's kind of a weird staggered magnet design there. And it's his take, I guess, on a Strat, like an overwound Strat pickup. To me, it's the best Strat pickup I've ever tried. If you've never played one of these, if you have a Strat and you want something that's a little more kind of like beefy, not as weak sounding as your typical Strat pickup, get one of these. It's the best Strat pickup I've ever tried. I'm not even really a Strat bridge guy. The only other thing I'll say about this guitar is it has the spoke truss rod adjustment, which is so awesome. If you ever get a bolt-on guitar made or are looking for a bolt-on guitar, get the spoke wheel. It's the best. I love it. One of my favorite guitars. I expect I'll have it for a long time. Alright. We're going to keep going through the racked guitars here. Kind of a funny story about this guitar. I bought a PRS Custom 24, and I think the color was like Bonnie Pink. It was one of the rarer colors they did. Didn't really bond with it, so I put it up for sale, and the original owner actually contacted me and said, hey, this is my guitar, I would like it back, and I don't really have the money for it right now, but you may have heard of me. I own JW Van guitars, and if you no boutique kind of small guitar companies. JW Van is pretty big right now. They make some quality stuff, and I said, okay, well, what are you thinking? And he told me, oh, I'd be happy to make you a custom guitar. Just tell me what you want, and we can do a trade. So I shipped off the PRS to him and told him exactly what I wanted. Travis is the guy's name that does JW Van. And this is what we came up with. So I told him, you know, I want basically a Telecaster version of a Les Paul Custom. Original, right? So we kind of came up with this and messed around a little bit with it. Body's mahogany, pickups are Lawler Imperials, stop tail bridge, has the, you know, Les Paul custom style knobs. I need to put the switch cover back on it. That would be good. Ebony fretboard, mother of pearl block inlays, gold hardware, obviously. And this is kind of cool. The neck, if you can see, there's actually Cocobolo, which is kind of like, I don't know what I compare it to. It's kind of a rosewood family of wood style. Very beautiful. Feels great. It's got the tongue oil finish on it. I'm actually probably going to have to send this guitar back to Travis in a few days, because not only is it the heaviest guitar I've ever played, way too heavy for me, the neck is a little bit too thick for me. So we're going to see if we can kind of bring the weight down a little bit on it, get him to chamber the body. Spursel locker tuners. Man, it's a great guitar. It sounds exactly like you think it does. Like, think Les Paul Custom, but Telecaster scale length, right? It's awesome. Yeah, I'm almost too afraid to mess with it, with the chambering and the neck carved down, but it's got to happen. It's too heavy. Anyway, JW Van, super nice guy. Check him out. Get a custom guitar. Okay, let's keep going. Speaking of custom guitars, this is a custom shop Carvin C66. You probably know this guitar if you've ever watched my YouTube channel. It goes back to 2009 when I had it made. I've had this guitar longer than any other guitar in my small collection. It's great. I think it's alder body, maple cap, quilted maple. You can see the I can actually get it out of the light there, maybe. Yeah, looks a little darker here than normal. It's actually pretty bright. Sunset burst, I think. 5-way switch, DiMarzio pickups. Have the DiMarzio Air Zone, and then a blues bucker in the neck, which is like a P90. Actually, it's a hum canceling P90. So they're very different. Bridge pickup sounds like a Les Paul to me. It's awesome. It's like, if you're familiar with the Air Zone, it basically turns a Strat into a Les Paul. So neck is all maple. Tongue oiled back of the neck. Very thin neck, by the way. This is a bolt-on guitar, if you didn't know. Spursel lock-in tuners. For whatever reason, stainless steel frets. For whatever reason, this guitar sounds better than about any guitar I've ever played. I don't know why. Maybe I got lucky with the wood combination. Man, does it sound good. Very versatile, actually. You can do really anything with this guitar. It will do metal, it will do rock, it will do blues, jazz, you name it. Country, you can probably get that out of it. It's got all the options. The 5-way switch does a lot of cool stuff. Coil split, parallel, all that stuff. Yeah. Okay. Carvin C66. I think Carvin's actually Kiesel now, if I'm not mistaken. They changed ownership a few years after I got this. Alright. Looks like that's most of the guitars that were on the rack. Let's get the cases out, shall we? Alright. Here we go. A little history for you here. When I was in college, I found that I was playing a lot more worship church stuff. I was playing at church a lot more. And of course I thought Hillsong was the coolest thing since Sliced Bread and Nigel Hendroff and all that stuff. And I just wanted a Gretsch Duo Jet so bad. I thought that was the coolest guitar. This is a really loud acoustic guitar. I thought it was so cool that he had that Duo Jet. So I got a Duo Jet and it was cool, but maybe not the best guitar live because of the feedback. These are, of course, hollow on the inside. They're fully chambered out. And sold it. Then, of course, I had to get a Gretsch White Falcon and a Black Falcon. I sold both of those. They were too big for me. I'm so tiny. My tiny hands. Then I got a Gretsch White Falcon. And that was cool, but it had Dynasonic pickups in it, which I just didn't really care for at all. So then I saw this at Wildwood Guitars in Denver was selling these for a 16 of these they made, and special run. I think the color is Fire Mist Red. To me, this is pretty much the coolest Penguin I've ever seen. It's actually got TV Jones classics. Normally I think these come with Filtertrons, but these, for whatever reason, they put TV Jones classics in them, which was a nice touch. I don't know what to say about this guitar. If you like Gretsch Penguins, you probably think it's great. If you don't know anything about a Gretsch Penguin, you probably are wondering what I'm doing with this obnoxious guitar with the penguin on the pick guard. But this is the best configuration of one I can think. You've got the Lotus and Cloud inlays. You got the Gretsch logo headstock. I couldn't imagine a better. It's Bigsby. What more can you ask for? These are killer. Love it, love it, love it. Also pretty cool. They only made 16 of them. I think Wildwood still has like 3 left if you're looking to get one. Really cool guys at Wildwood too. So yeah, that's the Gretsch Penguin. Now this is an interesting instrument for all you Sir guys out there. I know there's like a cult that's really into Sir stuff. I don't really listen to Scott Henderson at all, but I kind of looked into this guitar. It's a Sir Scott Henderson spec. And the only way I can explain this guitar is it sounds like a vintage Strat, but it plays like a shred guitar because you've got a 16-inch fretboard radius. You got jumbo size frets. It really plays kind of modern, but the pickups are all vintage Strat style. Not anything super crazy here. I think Scott Henderson has a little bit different of a 5-way setup, but I forget how it is. I know it has a weird thing where it bypasses the tone control. I don't know why you would want that, but whatever. Locking tuners. Probably, besides maybe the Carvin, the best playing guitar I have. And I'm not really a Strat guy, so it's probably gonna be gone soon, but killer guitar, honestly. And has the Strat sound. If you're a guy that likes the vintage Strat sound, but you want something a little more playability, not like a baseball bat for a neck, this is the one to go for, man. You can't do any better. Fiesta orange, of course, the ugliest. Just kidding. I think it's a cool color. You don't see this every day. Everybody's got a Fiesta red Strat. It's played out, man. You want orange. Okay. Moving right along. Sir Scott Henderson classic. And I think we're getting close to the end here. I saved the weirdest last. Oh man, Sir makes a heavy case, let me tell you. Oh, actually I think that's not a Sir branded case. It's one of those classic custom whatever cases. Here we go. The big kahuna. Alright. Here we have, I don't really know what I call this. It's hard to explain. I will say I used to play a lot of metal as a youngster, and I had a thing for Ibanez's. I collected them at one point, and I think at one point I had maybe 9 RGs. I was a big RG guy. I loved RGs, but I sold them all because I started playing more soft music. And but when I saw this one, I had to get it, and it's a kind of a Franken Nez. I'm never going to say that word again. The neck is from a 1989 Ibanez RG565 with the shark tooth inlays. Very cool, original wizard profile. The body is actually custom. It was done by a guy in Tennessee who basically made a Ibanez gym style body, but he gave it the color shift. So I don't know if you can see there, but it shifts from purple to blue. Yeah, totally. I'm sure that totally worked. Pink pickups, obviously. It's a DiMarzio, right now it's a DiMarzio Evolution and an IBZ in the neck, which those are about to get changed. Coil tap in the tone pot right there. That's a pretty nice feature. Yeah, it's. I'm gonna change the pickups. Put a rail in the neck and something else in the bridge. I'm not a big Evolution guy. Great killer guitar, so good. Kind of one of a kind, actually. Got the monkey grip. It's cool. Love these Ibanez's, man. One of the best necks. A little wide. If you don't like a wide neck, maybe get like a Carvin or a Jackson. Anyway, Ibanez RG Franken Gym, whatever. Okay, moving right along. I think we're actually to the last guitar, which not really that important, but I think I will be selling this soon, actually, if anybody's interested. Squire Classic Vibe 60 Strat in Burgundy Mist. Ooh. Really, actually, awesome guitar. It sounds great, just not really my color. I'm not really into the Burgundy Mist. But it's killer, very lightweight, even for a Strat, very light. Great neck on it. Actually, I'll be honest, this thing sounds great. The Sir sounds good too, but I can't say one sounds better than the other. It's weird. The Sir is 10 times as much money, but the tones are. I mean, this sounds like a vintage Strat to me, man. Fender, Squire, whatever, they got this one right. These classic vibes are killer. I don't know what they're doing, but I got to get me one of these in a different color for sure. They're killer guitars. Anyway, yeah, if you're looking for like a Strat on the cheap, just boom, done. You don't even have to do anything to it. It stays in tune. Pickups sound great. It's awesome. Hardware's good. So yeah, there you go. So that's my guitars, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I hope I'm gonna be able to do a sound clip video, so stay tuned for that. That might take a while though. Let me know if you have anything you want to see there as far as amps or whatever. I'll see what I have, and I've got about 3 or 4 amps right now I've rotated through. Also, I'll quickly show you what computer I'm running through. That's a custom build that I did on my recording audio desktop. So yeah, there you go.